my boob falls out, I don't care. Guys, to say I've read a lot of books in the past 2 months is quite the understatement of the century, so I'm just going to get right into it. I'm currently on my 20th book of the year, I believe, so that's always fun. And currently I'm reading The Little Book of Dior, which is literally just a little book about this size but a little bit thinner that tells you the history of the creators of the fashion brands that they talk about. So there's like 5 of them. There's like the Little Book of Chanel and other things like that. So it tells you all about Dior and its history and the person behind it and the trends that they created, and so far I'm about halfway through. It's really cute. I do have 4 more books that I have recently bought that I have yet to read. So I have Conversations on Love by Natasha Luns, In Paris by the same writers that wrote How to Be a Parisian, and not all of them, just 2 of them I think. And Period Power, I forgot who that's by, but considering that I have ovarian conditions, I thought it would be really cool to like educate myself anyways on my own body a little bit more. And also M Train by Patti Smith. Finally did it. I said in one of my recent videos that I was really scared to get a new book by Patti Smith because her main book, Just Kids, is my favourite book ever in all of the universe, and I hate finishing that book because I always like dread ending it. Like I dread having nothing, like not reading it. So I finally gave in, and I've put another one, and it's going to be the last one I read because if I start it, it means at one point I'm going to end it. But anyways, those are my 4 that I have yet to read, and the one I'm currently reading. So by the time I see you next, I'll probably have another 10 books minimum that I've read. So let's start with the books I have here. So, the little tiny one on top. I love the story behind how I got this book. It is called The Witch's Spellbook for Love, Happiness and Success. And it doesn't say who it's by, but I do believe that if you look it up, it tells you who made it. As you probably know, if you have subscribed to me for a little while now, I am indeed a witch, I guess, and a spiritualist, a tarot reader, the list goes on. I've never really strongly been into spells as such and things like that, but I was in a spiritual shop and I was not having, like, I felt on that day I felt great, but at that time in my life a few months ago I was not feeling great, and this was roughly in June. And I saw it on the floor by itself in this spiritual store, and immediately was like, I need to pick this up. And I opened it on a page, and the page was speaking about something I was going through. Like it was like advice, like spiritual advice on it, because it's not just spells, it's like little tips and stuff. And I was like, this is for me, I need to get this. So I got it, and I've done some little spells. It's a really cute little book. I would just say, like, for beginners especially, it's really great. So I do recommend this, and it's really small and cute, and the design is stunning for such a little book. The pages are gold, which I love. So anyways, that's the first one. I would give this one like a 4 out of 5, just because, like, obviously if you're doing spells you probably want more in-depth stuff, but you know, like I said, beginners, this is good. Next, so we have Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig. I genuinely love this book. I've spoken about it before in one of my videos like a month ago. I got this again at a time that I needed it, and I didn't expect it to actually help me the way I expected it, the way it did. Yeah, English. It did help me, and it was really lovely actually to read something that was so sadly relatable, but in a comforting way. And what I like about this book is that it doesn't gloss over anything. It's very raw and real. Matt Haig talks about his own experiences with feeling low and depressed and suicidal, and even attempts and things like that. So such a strong book, possibly triggering. I did cry a few pages, but I highly, highly recommend it. I would genuinely give this book a 5 out of 5. It was very needed when it came to it, and I appreciate that most of the chapters are very short, and that he does in fact put reasons to stay alive at the end, and it's just a really lovely read when you feel low, I think. This next book is controversial, people. It's a hard one to talk about for me. It is called No One Gets Out Here Alive by Jerry Hopkins and Danny Sugarman. It's a Jim Morrison biography, autobiography, I can't remember the difference. Oh god. This book, I don't even know what I'm gonna rate this fucking book. This book, where do I begin? So obviously if you don't know, which you should because otherwise I will be concerned, Jim Morrison is a very famous musician. He was the singer in the famous band The Doors. I kind of grew up on The Doors music and their influence. My parents love Jim and the music especially, and so I was very excited to read this, especially considering I had a really nice time reading the Kurt Cobain book, which is in my last book reviews, which I'll put above and below. But this one was so hard to read. Oh, it was so hard to read. I genuinely hope that none of it is real, but I know that it is, which hurts my soul deeply. I feel bruised because Danny Sugarman is a very famous person when it comes to The Doors. I can't remember the context and his connection to them, but it's reliable sources, so I know that everything here is real. Unfortunately. It's biography, not autobiography. I've just learned something. The best-selling biography of Jim Morrison, and I don't know why. It's not that it's written badly. It's not written in my favourite way that I'd read a book, and it's also fucking large, and that bothers me because it was not an easy read because of the context within this book. But it was just that they portrayed Jim as such an arsehole, and if he is an arsehole, that just ruins the effect, in my opinion at least, that he had on culture and society when it came to music and politics and things like that. I feel like I didn't get to know the Jim that the world knows, but more so this hidden-ish version of him that the real people in his life knew, which I didn't want now because he's just a dick. He really is just such an arsehole. All you think in this book is, why did he have anyone like him at all? At all. It's so genuinely surprising. He just hurt everyone in his life, and when I told my mum about how much I hated this image of him, if it was real, which it apparently is, she was like, yeah, but that was the drugs. But he was a dick before the drugs. Plus, if you look at Kurt Cobain, he had his very dickish moments, and of course you can blame that on the drugs, whatever you want, I don't know. But he was such a lovely human deep down. He was very loving, and also you could see how troubled he was, and you learn about his past and why he is the way he is, his childhood trauma. All he had was a dad that was a little bit distant and had like an army job. Like, hello. And like, they tried to keep in contact with him, and he was the one who was like, no, fuck my family. Even I can't even talk about it anymore. It's pissing me off. Like, I will give it like a 3 out of 5 because it wasn't badly written. It was just painful. It was a painful read. So next we have this lovely little, not little, looking book called The Signs by Carolyn Faulkner, and it was like in Vogue and everything apparently. I don't know, here's my opinion. It's educational, sure, but it's way too back and forth, because she literally says in every single page, go to page 207 and then come back and then read this, and it's just like, couldn't you have just written it a little bit simpler, please? Like, some of us are fucking stupid, mate. Give us, you know, help us out just a little bit. That would have been nice, but no. Anyways, it was helpful, it was educational, because obviously astrology is part of my practices. I know all the basics, I know more than the basics, but this is a very in-depth description of everything you pretty much need to know. There's obviously some stuff she doesn't touch upon, most stuff really. This is definitely like the basics, but in non-layman beginners terms. However, yeah, I just struggled a little bit. It was just too back and forth for me. I need something that's easy when it comes to education, I guess. So I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 because it was fucking better than the Jim Morrison book. Next we have The Anxiety Solution by Chloe Brotheridge. Again, I've briefly spoken about this book in one of my recent videos. This one I actually really liked, and again, just like Reasons to Stay Alive, I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. This one is much less about her experience and like emotionally heartfelt and all that stuff. It's much more educational, and this is what I mean by simple education. It tells you everything you need to know about anxiety. I swear she has like some like science or like psychotherapy, some kind of degree that validates all of this. And yet she puts it in simple terms for all of us because we're stupid. That's exactly what I need. Someone to take into consideration my brain is a little bit thicker than everyone else's, alright? So she goes through what helps, what won't help, what anxiety actually is, etc, etc. But I also like that at the end there were little tasks to do. I said this in my last one as well, but like, write affirmations for yourself, like literally so many little tasks. And I love interactive books. It makes me very happy. So I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5. Okay, next is an interesting one. The Dream Dictionary by Teresa Chung. I actually really like this. I use it almost every day, so whenever I have a dream, the first thing I do, open this bad boy up and figure out what the fuck is going on in my subconscious brain. It's very to the point, it's very simple. It's, yeah, I've got like a sushi stain on it. But anyways, it's fine. But I use it for my dream services, which is like I do dream interpretations. I am very like researched, and I want to say I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to dreams, because I feel like a lot of dreams are, you know, they're either very literal or they're either very not. As in they're metaphorical. And considering I am also a writer and have qualifications in writing, and I'm currently a film student in script writing, I understand metaphors like the back of my hand, especially when it comes to the subconscious, because I've researched it and done a lot of studying in it. So this has just been like a little helper when it comes to my dream services. If you want a book, there should be a link down below. But yeah, I really like this. It's obviously not one that you sit there and just go, it's I'm dreaming of ants because of it, and that, you know, it's just when you have there, when you need it, you pick it up, and it's very helpful. She doesn't give just like, oh, if you've dreamt about this, this is what it means. She gives several things it could be, and you kind of just take what resonates. So I'm actually going to give this a 5 out of 5 because I do really enjoy it. Oh, this last one. This last one. Oh, guys. Are we surprised? It's another memoir. I don't think we're surprised at all. Anyways, right, it's called Acid for the Children, and it's by Flea. If you don't know who Flea is, he is the bassist of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and if you don't know who they are, then again, I should be concerned. He's also an actor and other things, but anyways. One thing he is not is a writer. It's not that he's bad at writing, it's just the things in here have scarred me a lot. So, I don't know, maybe it's just I have like a low tolerance for like male celebrities and their lives. Because reading Patti Smith's Just Kids, again, like I said, it's my favourite book in the world. Maybe it's just men that I'm struggling with. Yeah, so this is about his childhood up until his like 20th birthday, and I think there's like another book coming out of like 20 to where he is now. Lord help me. It's nice-ish. I don't think it's like the most entertaining thing unless you're like a big fan of him and like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff, because it obviously gives you like background on how he met the band members and things like that. Just some things kind of bothered me. I don't know if it's me just being nitpicky, but there were some things were worded incorrectly in my head. Okay, for example, the N-word, pretty sure that was said several times, not in the sense of him saying the N-word, but him quoting other people saying the N-word. I don't know how I feel about that. And then there was just like this one moment where he was like, oh, I was upset when my friend used the N-word because I knew it was wrong to say, but he isn't racist, so it just made me sad because he isn't racist, but he's using racial slurs. I was really struggling. And then also there was like this one chapter literally called something like Just Like Sex or something. Why do men talk so vulgar about women? Like, just why? What makes you think it's okay? Like, he was talking about a memory he had in like high school, like at the beginning of high school, so bear in mind, still like a preteen, and he's like, I remember having like sex education, and then like I would see like every single girl's camel toe and be like, oh my god, I'm learning about that, but he wouldn't even say it in that way. He just used the word pussy over and over, and I hate when men say that word. Stop it, stop, please. For the life of me, please God, stop. It was just uncomfortable because like, yeah, just some things just weren't worded correctly. I think if those incidences weren't in this book, I'd feel much less traumatized after it. To say I was happy to finish it is an understatement because I was scared I was going to see the word pussy on every fucking page. Shame, because I do have an affinity for Flea. He's a lovely person, in a sense, and very talented at that. So yeah, it was just a little bit of a struggle, to be honest with you. So if you don't mind like a 40-year-old man saying the word pussy over and over and the N-word, go ahead, read it, by all means. Completely up to you. I personally wouldn't. But anyways, that's my update, you guys, on my book reviews for this year so far. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be doing another one in about 2 months' time, maybe less, depending on how many I get read. But I love you guys, and I hope to see you in my next video. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. Mwah.